Welcome to Lesson 1, Translations. A translation, or a slide is another word we use for a translation, is a movement of a shape from one spot to another in a straight line. No turns can take place during a translation. Let's take a look at an example. So we begin with our original shape drawn using straight lines on a piece of graph paper, and then we move that shape to a new position. So when that shape is translated or slid to its new position, the new position is called an image. So even if we didn't see this red arrow here in the middle and we only saw the two triangles, we would know that the one on the left here is the original one because it's called the shape, and the one on the right is this where it moved to because it's called the image. So let's look specifically at how this triangle moved from its original spot to its new spot. So first our triangle slid or moved 2 squares up, and then the triangle slid 5 squares to the right and stopped there at its new location. So once again, that was 2 squares up and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares to the right. So in this example, we were talking specifically about the top vertex of the triangle. So we went this orange vertex to this orange vertex here, but we can name the translation by any of the vertices. Let's look at one of the other ones. If we look at this bottom vertex, which we've put purple dots on, we could see that this vertex also moved 2 squares up, 1, 2, and 5 squares to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And finally, if we look at the last vertex, we see it did the exact same thing. 1, 2 squares up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares to the right. So the best way when you are translating a shape is to move it one vertex at a time, the 2 squares up and 5 squares right in this example, and then afterwards, once you have your completed image, then you connect the dots and you are sure that you did your translation correctly. So a translation or a slide is a movement of a shape from one spot to another in a straight line. No turns can take place during a translation. And by straight line we mean that the shape really just slid in a straight line like this. Even though when we do the translation, we don't move on diagonal lines, we move along the lines of our graph paper. So this entire triangle slid 2 squares up and 5 squares right. Another easy way to do translation is to take a piece of paper, trace the original shape on that piece of paper, slide the entire thing over, and then retrace it again in its new position. So have fun with your translations and slides, and ask your teacher for any help you might need.